Oh, this is the Cannabis Community Project. Yeah. Oh, we help people together in their own kind of way. This is the Cannabis Community Project. Oh, yeah.
Open up, Colorado. It's 420. Time to grind and burn.
This is not your son's stoner show.
Welcome back, family, friends, fellow cannapreneurs. Welcome to the Cannabis Community Project, here for another weekly podcast from the CCP studios high up in Denver, Colorado. Here exploring the business side of this newly emerging Colorado economy, focusing on the business, the patient, the retailer, to the geek in the garage, creating that next innovation. This is the first media platform to help fellow cannapreneurs just like you build sustainable businesses while living the lifestyle.
Herbbox is an independent, organic company bringing style and class to the cannabis community with an exquisite, superior, handcrafted, medical, and recreational container for the consciously cultural professional and the stiletto stoner. Herbbox is breaking down the stereotypes while bringing social awareness and fashionable credibility to the cannabis movement and business. Visit our website at herbbox.com. That's HERBBOXX.com. Cheers.
Hello, cannapreneurs, and thank you once again for joining me. I'm excited to be back for another Saturday. It's been a long week, but I have been on cloud 9, maybe cloud 10. We got a lot of going on that I'm just so happy and excited to talk about. Officially, let me just get this out of the way. Officially, the Indiegogo campaign has ended with a giant failure. But that's all right. We're going to move on. We might try it again on a different platform, maybe CannaFunder or one of these other ones in the next couple months. But that's okay. The platform was good enough to do what it was supposed to do. It let me put together everything I needed to really put in focus what I was going for. So if nothing else, I was able to gain from this campaign a clear focus and direction of where I want to take this show. So for those of you that did donate, that did contribute, thank you very much. And even to use that donated outside of the Indiegogo platform, thank you very much. You know who I'm talking about. I am talking about Jer from mypotguru.com, throwing in a few bucks at the end there to help us out as a listener of the show. It really means a lot when everybody steps up to let me know they're listening and wants to contribute a few dollars towards the show. You know, let me do my best to help promote all of you who donated, and I'll put it up on the social media, the Facebook or the webpage. Melissa from Mouse's Edibles, she was so nice to donate. And of course, everybody else whose names I am not forgetting, but just for time reasons, one more big thank you. And of course, personally, I'll reach out to you again and thank you for that. This week's show, we have Emmett from Buddy Bong. Buddy Bong is a cool little device. I've been using it for the last couple weeks myself. I got it as a swag bag, gift bag from Ari Love's networking events, Lifetime Buds. Everybody got a Buddy Bong, and he's going to tell you what it is and what it's all about. But it's a very cool device I've been using, so make sure to listen in for that interview. You're going to hear all about what it takes to manufacture a product, get it to the market, and sustain it in the market, how you go about marketing. So if you're a small business with a product out there and you're wondering how do you actually break through the noise in this industry, listen into stories like Emmett from Buddy Bong, and you'll get a lot of good information from him there. We also have a short segment from our associate producer, Chris Syndicate. Syndicate is doing all right. He went out on his own to an event representing the show with a mic in hand, recorded some audio bits. I believe this is going to be his first solo produced audio bits. I'm going to get that in the show today also. Just as a reminder for anybody else out there who sees themselves as a media producer or somebody who's just really wanting to be involved in the cannabis industry, you can do it right here on this show, the Cannabis Community Project. It is a community show, and that means it's a show for you. So if you have a segment you'd like to produce, a blog you'd like to write, or some comments you would like to share with the audience, reach out to us, send us an email, go to the website, cannabiscommunityproject.com, and let us know what you're thinking, because just like Syndicate, just like Scoop, remember Scoop? Scoop's still working with us, still doing little bits here and there, and it looks like he's ready to commit and maybe do some more. We're forming a team. It's a small team, but we're forming a team, and we are going to bulldoze straight ahead into Money Mountain because we are not stopping. This is it. If I have to drag, kick, and scream and everybody with me, we're going to take this show to the next level. Be part of it. That's right, you listening right now. Maybe you have a business, maybe you don't. It doesn't really matter, because the cannabis community encompasses so much that everybody has a voice. But before we get into all of that, let's make sure we quickly go to last week's short-term memory flashback relapse. Do you remember that show? Do you? It was a good one. I know I say that every week, but they are good ones. And I'm not just saying that because I produce them. I'm saying that because I also enjoy them. And that is bottom line what I think a good show is about. Is it just something you enjoy? Hopefully something you can learn a thing or two from. So here's a couple minutes right now to do last week's short-term memory flashback, and then we'll jump right into this week's show with Emmett from the Buddy Bong. There you go, cannabis.
Well, I'm Adam Rich. I'm the CEO and founder of Buds Media and the creator of the Buds, a social networking app.
And it looks like, from what I can see, this is going to be an exclusive online app type business, correct?
Yeah, well, the application itself will be available through Google and through the Apple iStore. What we're also going to do is we're going to make the app available to people who are online people.
And the way you have your short description listed is it's the world's first geosocial networking app for marijuana users. Wherever you are, you'll be able to jump online and find other users in your proximity to meet up with and hang out.
Just very different.
Now, I see the website's under construction, but is the app itself available in the Google Store and iTunes Store?
We're in development right now, but it is a very, very testy project. We've actually had to fire 3 developers already because they're not producing.
Oh. Are you making formal pitches like Shark Tank style?
We do. We have a formal business plan, 30 pages with a 10-page appendix, and then we have a pitch deck, which is something separate. It's like a PDF document that's very basic, and it just goes through exactly what we do and exactly what we are. It has screenshots of the app. It has our projected income, our total social media reach currently, and things like that. And we're going to host cannabis-based parties. And, Buds will sponsor them. We'll bring in local live music and things like that, and we'll host these parties and bring people out. Admission will be free. The only thing that they have to do is be a user. Just be a Buds user.
Right.
That's all we ask. And then come out and party with us and come smoke and drink on us, have a good time. I've stood shoulder to shoulder with some of the biggest names in marijuana here in D.C., including Montel Williams, the mayor of D.C. at the time, which was, I believe, Adrian Senti. We do have a sister app that we're working on. It's kind of in the backs on the drawing board that we've got patents on. That's called Mary Jane, MARRYJANE. And that will be the Buds dating. So if Buds is for smokers, the dating app, if we see a demand for it, we're going to launch, and that'll be called Mary Jane. So that's more of a find your soulmate type thing.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm looking at moving to Colorado myself. I've been looking out there.
A lot of people are coming to town, but that's
I've noticed. BUDZapp.com. That's by far the best way to contact me, and we are absolutely open to ideas. We're open to new people. If there's a tech developer or somebody out there that wants to get in and get their hands in on the ground floor, we'd love to hear from people who want to come to work, because we're definitely looking to hire people and looking to bring people on early and build together,
Cool, man. Well, when this gets out on my show, people will hear it, and you send me all your links, and I'll reshare it on my social media. Make sure to connect with me personally also on any social media, so I have you, just right there, always in the name list.
Yeah, if you're on are you on LinkedIn?
If you have an idea, a business, perhaps just some thoughts about cannabis, contact me. I want to hear from you. I want to discuss these issues: health, food, music, growing, technology, business, everything else. CCP. Thanks to all of our sponsors, and this week we're highlighting Dairy Berry's Recording Studio. Find him at dairyberriesrecordingstudio.com or call Mark at 303-456-8216. Feeling guilty about a time with cannabis? Get it off your chest and confess it on Cannafessions, your public forum to absolve your soul.
New voice message, Wednesday, 4:21 p.m.
Hey, what's up? I'm calling in to make a Cannafession. This is Black and Gold Wildcat. That is my pen name. Just want to call in and confess that I have smoked cannabis illegally on 5 different continents and in international waters as well. So North America, Europe, Africa, Asia, South America, the Mediterranean Sea, the Caribbean Sea. I just needed to tell somebody that so I don't get arrested by international authorities. So thanks for letting me get that off my chest. Later.
And that was Cannafessions. If you have a confession to make, contact me via Facebook or the website at cannabiscommunityproject.com.
Heady lifestyles. Heedy Becca?
Yeah. So heady is a term, like if you look it up, it's people that do for others. Like they're hippie and heady, I think were big time in the 60s. They got the negative connotation.
Right.
But heady is really, the kind of connotation to hippie. It's about community and education, and it's just a more giving way to live.
Right. And that's what you guys are doing here with this event and what you guys have been doing.
Yes.
Could you explain that?
Oh, yeah. So Healthy Heady Lifestyle, we're bringing cannabis education in-home through one-on-one consultations, or heady parties, as I like to call them. We bring information about cannabis itself and the cannabinoids, different strands of cannabis and their effect, and different temperatures and their effects. So the difference between a body high and a head high, and lower temperatures, no effects, just getting the medicinal. And then we move on to consumption, healthy ways to consume, tinctures, edibles, and then vaporizers. And we demonstrate vaporizers that are in the market today.
Actually, I noticed a different selection of different things out there, including some of the Moda pot, and you had a larger butter making.
Yep, the Magic Butter machine.
The Magic Butter.
And they have a small one too.
Yes.
Mini one. And then we have tabletops, so like the Herbalizer, the Buddha, Silver Surfer, Volcano.
Yep.
And then the personalized vaporizer, so PAX 2, Da Vinci, the Craft. So yeah. So, and one of the co-founders, Steve, he meets all the companies, he tests all of them, he recommends, these are the ones that we like, and they do what they say.
Right. So do you guys do some expensive product testing?
Yes, I think Steve is probably the most knowledgeable person I've known, and I'm so glad I got connected with him because I had so many questions and I knew he was the guy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so.
Well, it's a great event you guys got going on here, and I definitely look forward to talking to more of you.
Give you a free poster.
Yes, please.
Change you can believe in.
What's this all about? And who are you?
Victor Forsyth.
Victor Forsyth. Hi, I'm Chris.
Hi,
You can call me Syndicate. I'm with Cannabis Community Project.
Right.
I'm running the Cannabis Community News blog, and that's kind of what I'm doing here tonight, is talking with everybody and just seeing what's going on, what kind of products.
It's non-profit. It's free to join. Denver Barter and Skills Exchange. It's on Yahoo groups.
Right on.
So, and this is just a way to help out the community.
You were talking about church. In Indiana, there's a church that just got opened up, the first cannabis church. And I was thinking, that would be kind of interesting to have a cannabis church here in Denver, Colorado. I know a little group down in the DTC that has a little cannabis ministry. They all sit around and puff up and basically talk about, their spirituality. They're non-denominational, so they don't really try to say anything about God, Allah, Yahweh, or anything like that. It's all the same to them. And it created hemp, and that was the big thing. It created cannabis, which is, a lot of us kind of think that's definitely a gift on a lot of levels. Oh, great, thank you. Did you say Victor? Thank you very much.
Sure.
That was really cool.
I also have another business.
Right.
And we have the Grateful Dead Hemp Casket Company.
Right.
So,
that's cool.
Reach us on Facebook or through our website, which is thegreenfuneralscolorado.com.
Right. I saw one where they had like this thing where they buried people kind of tucked up in a fetal position, and then it was basically to start a tree. It was basically, it had all the things in your body.
That's what we do.
Oh, okay, then either...
Yeah,
wow.
We reforest the planet.
Yes,
I'm one of the founders of a group called Rainforest Action Network.
Oh, excellent.
So I got Rainforest on the brain.
I have heard of this type of stuff. Yeah, that's fantastic. That kind of, I'm an organ donor. Honestly, as soon as I'm dead, hey, take what you can. Other than that, use me for compost. I'm moving on to bigger things. Excellent.
Oh, I'm good to run into you, brother.
The way to get rid of pension is to do just the opposite of all the things that cause it.
All the pains and write it down, say so.
Beneath him, magic lyric. My name is Lyrics. I'm knowing that you feel it. Feel this. Feel this. My name is Lyrics. I'm knowing that you feel it. Are you gonna rise or constantly regress? Are your eyes so shut, turning ignorance to bliss? As your soul's candle burn at both ends of its wick, and now your heart is calloused up and your body's a ghost ship. No need to cast sail on that windless ocean, cause less is more and more is less, with the exception of focus. If you listen to the show, then some doors are gonna open. Begin the natural phase like butterfly from the locust. Some will run and hide just like a roach does. Well, some will learn to fly soon as positive growth comes. A sudden 180, opposite of hopeless, as my words become sight between both eardrums. With lyrics on your minds, accomplished by the bass drums. Never late but on time, cause hesitation's like rust. Less is more in these times we coming from, yeah. I gotta let you know, yeah. Only cover yourself beneath him but magic lyric. Only cover yourself beneath him but magic lyric. Only cover yourself beneath him but magic lyric. My name is Lyrics. I'm knowing that you feel this. Feel this. Feel it.
I'm in Chicago, Illinois, right outside the city. Originally, I was born and raised in Virginia, and then I moved here 6 years next month. My mom's whole side of the family is out here, so I moved out here and hung out in my aunt's basement for a couple months, and then ended up getting the job that I'm at now. And
nice. Well, I've never been to Chicago, but I'm from Wisconsin myself, so kind of the Midwest area.
Oh, okay.
And then moved out to Colorado. Very cool, man. So are you ready to record a little bit?
Absolutely. All right, well, I'm Emmett South, owner of Bong Buddy Incorporated, and we just launched our first of many products, which is Bong Buddy, the ultimate lighter leash for your bong.
Yes, and that I know well because I've been using it all week long. I got it as a free gift in the swag bag last Monday from an event I went to. All time high event networking events out here in Denver, and they're giving away in the swag bag. So I took it home and I've been using it all week. Not on my bongs, but on my pipes, and it works just as well.
Very good. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I connected with Ari, who's the owner of All Time High Event. She was one of our first number of vendor sales, and I was really excited to get into that because I've received a lot of connections through similar experiences, just them getting in their swag bag and then reaching out to us.
Yeah, she did a great job of promoting it and making sure everybody had one. Is this your design? Is this your concept?
It is my design and concept. I started working on it May of last year. But I've had the idea for a long time. I'm an avid smoker with a preference towards bongs usually. I always had people over, and my lighters were always getting stolen. And I tried, Lighter Buddy and Tokies and things like that. The problem that I found is that it still required you to actually put the lighter back, and that was the initial problem.
Right.
So passing it with whatever you're passing it with, or reattaching it, or however that worked. And I wanted to find a way to eliminate that last step so that there's no room for error. So I kind of jigged a version of what I'm selling now together. And then after people started using it, on a personal level with me, they're like, dude, this is a brilliant idea. You should make this and sell this and yada, yada, yada. Last year, I ended up going through a little bit of a life crisis and decided to just go all in and start my own business and really put everything I had into making this work. So far, it's been the best decision of my life.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. People who just jump right in, head and feet first. So the Bong Buddy, just for those who haven't had the chance to see it or get one of their own, can you kind of describe what the mechanism is? Because other people may have seen similar concepts, but you're talking about something very specific. So just give us a quick rundown of what the mechanism and the use of the Bong Buddy actually is.
For sure. So primarily it's for bongs or water pipes, but as you said, it really can be used on a lot of different things. It's a silicone band similar to, the Livestrong bracelets or various bands like that. It's elastic enough to wrap around the chamber of your bong, or even elastic enough to fit around a beer bottle, with a retractable string and a lighter console. So you slip your lighter in the console, and that is attached to the retractable string. You pull on the lighter, light whatever you're lighting, and it automatically retracts back to the holder, which is the silicone band. And we designed it to make sure that it's totally glass safe. There's no way that if it automatically retracts, doesn't damage your piece at all. The length of the string is about a foot. It doesn't get enough speed for it to damage that at all, and that way you can just light and let go. And
yeah, if you can imagine like a card holder, you may have seen these for badges and keys. It works great, and I've been using it all week, and I recommend people definitely check it out at your website or social media. You want to give out your website real quick before we move on, just so people can jump right online and see what you're talking about?
Absolutely. It's www.bongbuddyinc.com. All of our social media is at Bong Buddy Inc.
Excellent. So how long have you been in business now?
We officially incorporated in March and started doing some promotion and working on connections at that point. Our product was in stock in June, and that's when we really kicked it into gear. I didn't want to do too much pre-ordering before that, so, about almost 3 months now. Right now, it's just me. My girlfriend helps me with social media and things like that.
You're running the entire company by yourself. Does that mean you are responsible for the design, the manufacturing, the distribution, the marketing, and everything that goes with it up to this point?
Up to this point, that is correct.
Did you come from a previous background where you had knowledge of how to design products and how to go through distribution?
I had no knowledge to this point in this specific industry. I'm director of operations and IT for the company I work for now. For the past 6 years, I've been all about problem solving and management, so I know how a company runs in that aspect, as well as marketing and advertising and things like that. I started another company 2 years ago that's a startup and a mobile application that is hopefully going to be released soon, so I have experience in a startup in that aspect. But as far as an actual consumer product, this was my first go at it, and it went pretty well. I mean, I definitely learned a lot. It was a challenge. It probably took me longer than someone who had done it before it would take them. No, I managed to get through it and meet the right people and talk to the right people and get it up and going.
How many different versions or prototypes did you have to go through before you got your market-ready version?
Very good question. For sure, 4 different versions. And the toughest part about it was making sure that the physics behind it with the retractable leash coupled with the lighter was going to be 100% glass safe, as well as the silicone band being elastic enough to fit on a variety of size chambers while being strong enough to remain firm wherever it was placed. So those were the 2 variables that we really had to play with the most to get it just right.
And is this the final version, or is there still changes and modifications and 2.0s coming in the future?
Oh, there will definitely be iterations of Bong Buddy in the future. However, it'll most likely be different bands. So we're thinking about doing a Velcro band or a snap band, as well as different sizes so that it can fit on an even wider variety of water pipes and things like that. But right now, what we're focusing on is innovations for rigs. Rigs was my next thing that I wanted to tackle. And Bong Buddy's doing really well. It's gotten good reviews, and I definitely want to expand on it, but I would also like to tackle rigs. So that's what I decided to put first.
When you go off into a new product, how do you fund that? Do you wait until you've sold enough of your first product to have disposable income, or do you go into debt or investors to keep advancing the company?
Right now I have 0 investors, and as long as things continue to grow, I don't intend on getting investors. So right now, everything up to this point was out of my own pocket. And going forward, now that I know what I need to do and cheaper ways to do things, it's really not turning out to be nearly as expensive as the first time.
The learning curve
right
is
now,
expensive.
Absolutely. But you can't put a price on knowledge. So
right.
So the second time around, I've just used profits from the company in order to expand it, which is, just reinvesting what I make into it.
So speaking of prices on knowledge, what did it take you out of pocket to get up and going?
Between mistakes and successes, it has cost me about $12,000 to get everything up and going and then paying for itself.
Okay, that doesn't seem too unreasonable.
No.
Was the majority of that in prototyping and figuring out how to manufacture it?
Absolutely. The biggest expense I had was definitely the design, engineering, and prototyping process, which I used a single source for all of those things, as well as then they developed the CAD files, which are needed for manufacturing. And then the second most costly item was the mold that's used to, mass manufacture.
Did you have to go out of country for the manufacturing, or are you able to do that in country?
Right now, I am doing it out of the country, but I am in contact with a lot of manufacturers within the country because that is what ideally I would like to be doing. But you also have to take into consideration a lot of manufacturers want to break up each process of break up the manufacturing process for each piece. So finding a manufacturer who can work with silicone and metal and rubber and, all of the different materials that Bong Buddy is made of is extremely difficult because most manufacturers only deal with, one type of material. If you did something like that, then you have to pay for the shipping of each part to all these different places. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Financially or manufacturing-wise.
How far are you away from being able to make this your full-time gig? You said you're doing another job, which is kind of your full-time job now during the day. You're in IT.
My mom just asked me that last night. My goal is to not be working my full-time job and to have both my startup doing well and providing me enough to live off of by August of next year. Okay. However, I will be definitely making money and being able to put it in my pocket by December.
Okay. So the company will become profitable, but you're going to hold off just a little bit until you give up the stability income.
Exactly.
Very good. Well, that sounds like things are really moving along. Do you have a national distribution? How are you going about your marketing on this?
My marketing is really just done through connections. You reached out to me on my contact form. That is becoming an increasingly beneficial source. I worked with All Time High. I'm working with a couple different networking companies similar to that. It's just really networking as much as I can on social media, networking events, advertisements online, constantly working on content that I'm putting out and improving SEO, and then reaching out to head shops, distributors myself. I'm in talks with a number of distributors on a national level, but none of those have been officially closed. But hopefully within the next 2 weeks, at least one of those will be finalized, and that would be a huge win.
Are you getting into retail shops at all?
Yeah, absolutely. That's really who I've been targeting the most is retail shop. We're in several shops in Colorado, Arizona, California, Maryland, Illinois, Washington. I think we have one in Oregon. I'd have to look. We're moving around, and right now I'm concentrating on states where it's legal. Right. And then I'll move on.
Does this translate at all into any other type of smokers, tobacco smokers?
Oh, for sure. I've made a couple of sales to hookah lounges. They use that, obviously for their hookahs. If you're smoking tobacco out of a water pipe, you could definitely use it. But on our level, we're really targeting the cannabis industry.
So you do a lot of calls. Is that your main route of getting a hold of these people? You call them and you do a pitch to them, or you send them an email with the product and a retail offer?
Yeah, so when I first started, I'd spent a lot of trial and error. This was my first time in a consumer product type business, so kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't, as well as the most time-efficient ways to make sales has been interesting, and I still don't have it totally ironed out. But yeah, it's a mix between making calls, sending emails, and just cold sending samples to retail stores and dispensaries and smoke clubs or lounges. So far, sending samples initially, I'm seeing a better return on, samples versus sales in that regard. But all have worked. I can't really say that they're too far off from each other.
Yeah, I guess you try to get a hold of people however you can so they can see your product. How much of that $12,000 came from personal, credit card and savings account, or did you have immediate family that was able to help out with that?
Oh, no. Like I said, I've had zero investors, and that includes friends and family. I paid for it all myself.
Okay, so you just saved up throughout the last few years of working?
For sure, saved up and a lot of negotiation. Some people don't like doing payment plans, but if you talk to them enough and long enough and wiggle your way in, they're usually willing to work with you. So I did a payment plan for my prototyping process. I put a certain percentage down and then said that I'll pay you X amount, every month. And then when you complete it, I'll finalize the payment, and that helps a lot. Same thing with my manufacturer. He's been really flexible in terms of, when we initially started up, I didn't need to put a whole lot into it, and then we ended up, making all of our sales pretty quickly. So I did net 30 terms with him for the first one, which he doesn't particularly like doing, but was willing to make the small risk, and that paid off. Really just learning how to work with people and talk to people to get it to work within what you're working with has been the best thing for me, because I definitely didn't want to put $12,000 right in all the way at once.
Yeah.
So being able to space it out helped a lot.
Well, that's some pretty insightful information that I think people who are listening could really get something from, because what you're describing is really, you're out there hustling. You're looking for any way you can to get the job done. I think that really shows some good perseverance and dedication. Where are you taking this next? I mean, what's the next big move you're looking to do with the Bong Buddy here?
Well, definitely, short term, I definitely want a national distributor. That would be a huge win for us. It would make retailers finding us a lot easier. I think that could be hugely beneficial sales-wise. Other than that, my next kind of ticket items is, I've reinvested some of the money that I've made into starting to work on something for rigs. The next investment would be other humans working on this with me. I don't think that I'll be able to grow a whole lot more without some extra hands helping me with social media posts and content, surveying. I'm a big surveyor. I don't want to do anything with the company unless it's what people want the company to do and are going to respond well to. So I spend a lot of time doing that and talking to people on our social networking sites as well as our existing customers. That's very time consuming.
So research is what I'm hearing you say, that you do a lot of research and a lot of interacting with the consumer base to find out what the best product is. You don't want to just manufacture something and throw it out there. You want to make sure you're producing something that's being requested by the market.
Absolutely. I mean, so many people go into business, and I found myself doing this at first. You think you have this brilliant idea, and it probably is a really good idea. But if the idea doesn't sell and you put $12,000 or $15,000 or however much you put into it, and it doesn't actually sell, then not only have you lost the money, but you don't feel good.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that's the best way to say it. You just don't feel good.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good, I don't want to go home to my girlfriend saying, what the hell? But yeah, I'd rather get to know this is not something that I would actually spend money on before I spend all my money on it.
Right. Exactly. You rather have somebody else tell you they're not going to spend money before you spend all your money.
Exactly.
This kind of brings up the point of the emotional cost. I mean, you're fairly new into this venture. It seems to be successful. You've invested a lot of your own personal wealth into it, your own personal money. Where are you on the emotional scale of daily business?
To start, I would say that I am one of those people that wears busy like a badge, and I love being busy. I hate being bored. I hate having nothing to do. So on an emotional level, this is right up my alley. And like I said, I do have another startup that I'm also working on. So sometimes it can be a daily struggle because with any startup, you're going to have problems. You're going to have negativity. You're going to have days where you could have sworn that you were going to close a deal and it never went through for whatever reason. Or you really need an answer and for some reason nobody's emailing you back. And that can get frustrating for sure. But at the end of the day, it's totally worth it because the next day could be awesome and you're doing your own thing and you've seen an idea that you've had or you and your friends have had not only be designed and developed, but now people are buying it and using it and posting pictures with it. And the pride and the happiness that comes from that alone, that other people are using your product, it totally trumps everything else. So if and when I do have bad days, I usually just go online and try and look at those things so that I can refocus my energy into all the good things.
So having a little bit of a thick skin and lots of perseverance, knowing that tomorrow could be the day that changes your life, because tomorrow you found your national distributor or somebody else. Tomorrow's always a better day, as they say.
Exactly.
Since you mentioned your mom, what does your mom think of what you're doing?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Well, how about this? Is there a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
I mean, if there's not a thumbs up, there's at least not a thumbs down.
Okay.
If anything, she's neutral about it. Last year, I got into some legal troubles related to marijuana, and they ended up being fairly large. And so I was very shocked when I told my mom that I was doing this, at her reaction. But I think that through all of that, and my mom and I never really had an awesome relationship. It's much better now. But I think after going through all of that with me, and then me telling her that I was going to do this, and now that she's seen proof that, her son has done this and done it all on my own and made something of it, I think that's what makes her be okay with it, not necessarily what it is and what it's related to.
Is this the kind of trouble where if you were in a Colorado or Washington, it wouldn't have been in trouble, but just because you're in Chicago and like many other states still, it just happens to be one of the things you got in trouble for? Is it that type of trouble?
No, I think I would have gotten in trouble no matter where I was.
Okay. Well, we'll let you keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
But is that going to hinder your future business at all? Is that going to prevent you from being able to do something? Or is it just going to be something that's there on your record that you'll have to live with?
I think that it's just going to be something that's on my record that I have to live with. But at the end of the day, even if it does get in my way, it's not the first obstacle I've had in my life, and it's definitely not going to be one that I can't overcome. So if it does end up, being an issue, I'll find a way to make it work. But I don't see how it really could. And that's part of the reason why I started the company. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with my job, and so between my first startup and now this, I wanted to make sure that I was going to be locking myself into a, secure and independently financed future, so that's what really pushed me to get into it. It's now pushed me to really put everything into it so I can be on my own, because that's ideally what I want.
Wow, that's such an encouraging story. I mean, that's really why I started this show I do, is to be able to highlight people who are taking what used to be a negative and turning it into a positive. And I think your story really just highlights exactly that. You took something that was a negative and you're turning it into a positive, and you're moving forward. You have a great attitude. I've personally used the product, so I think you have a great combination of a good product, a great attitude. And it sounds like you're on your way to being very close to blowing this up into something very big. I applaud you and thank you at the same time for not giving up and showing other people, wherever they are, Colorado or not, that if you have an idea and you want to be involved in cannabis, it doesn't really matter what your past was or where you come from or what your background is. You too have the chance to be involved in this industry in a legitimate way, in a positive legitimate
Absolutely.
way.
And as I to you, I actually spent the weekend listening to a ton of your podcasts.
Oh,
and really enjoyed them. So I love what you have going on as well. And if there's anything in the future that I can contribute, I'd love to.
Cool. I appreciate that. Were they like more recent episodes or older episodes, or just out of curiosity?
Well, today at work, I was listening to more recent ones, and then over the weekend, I was just kind of skipping through on titles that caught my eye, and some of those were older.
Cool. Well, then you already know how this show is going to turn out with you on it, and then
awesome.
And then I'll put it out. But before we do that, let's make sure we get a good, clear contact and website bump for you out there.
Absolutely. I'm Emmett South with Bong Buddy Inc. Our website is www.bongbuddyinc. That's INC.com, and all of our social media is at Bong Buddy Inc.
Very cool, man. I appreciate your time, and I really look forward to seeing how you grow and what's to come of your company in the future. I'm giving you an open invite to stop by the show via phone, and of course, anytime you come to Colorado in person, you're more than welcome to come back on anytime, talk about what's going on with the company, what's advancing, what's new, or just drop in and say hi to the community, the cannabis community.
And I will absolutely take you up on that.
Yes. And thanks for listening to this week's show. Make sure to come back next week. We're going to have more guests lined up, speaking with dispensary owners, growers, business owners. Make sure to follow us on all of the social media, Facebook, Google+. You can listen to our shows live from the website or your preferred listening platform. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spreaker, even YouTube, all under the same name, CannabisCommunityProject.com. We'll see you next week.